So in the fall, couldn't practice indoors in Michigan. So what do they do, Tamika Catchings? CMU went old school. You would have loved this. Practicing outside.
Definitely challenging, but you got to be flexible. Because of the state COVID laws, they were not allowed to practice indoors. So what do? You figure out the other way, the best way. So for the first month and a half, Central Michigan practiced outside with the Gus Macker baskets. I don't know if you know anything about that Gus Macker days, Eric. I know we did a lot of damage on the blacktop back in the day.
I'm sure you did. Emphasis on a lot back in the day. Well, I mean, we've seen it from coast to coast. We've covered women's basketball all season long as the second quarter's underway, and just the sacrifices and the commitment made from CMU practicing outside of Sonano gets called for the offensive foul, to a team like Arkansas traveling on game days for their road days and socially distancing their huddles, teammates and friends keeping their distance. It's been very challenging from that aspect, to programs like the University of Maine, over 1,100 tests for COVID. They had 0 positive results. Women's basketball, certainly the leaders in how to handle this COVID era. And for coaches like Heather Osterly and for Lisa Bluter, there was no game plan. There was no rule book. There was nothing to follow. You had to make this up as you went along. And I think we've been very impressed all season long with the commitment, the sacrifice, the dedication we've seen in women's basketball, and it's continued on here in this tournament with these teams in hotels in San Antonio, practicing in San Antonio, and then busing to wherever the venue takes them here this week.
Definitely. Davis get to the free throw line, but, you know, when you're faced with adversity, and I think this is the thing that we all have had to face adversity in the last year, but it's interesting to think about us having the SEC tournament, us having all the conference tournament, us being able to have this NCAA tournament, the commitment, the dedication, not just from the coaching staff, but from the players. Like, these are young teenagers that are trying to adjust and grow, and college is the time where you really make those adjustments, but they've had to figure out how to play through adversity.
Clark buries another one.
I mean, can we just talk about Caitlin Clark on a straight line, get the ball out of bounds, dribble straight up the middle of the floor, and just pull up a couple feet behind the three-point line, and she's phenomenal. She's fun to watch.
Logan Cook on for Iowa. She gets the rebound, and here is Clark. Defended by Martinez. Off the window, 2 more for Caitlin Clark.
That should beat you from the three-point line. She could take it to the basket. She could find the open players. I mean, what does she not do, and what is she not doing from Iowa?
Iowa starting to heat up, so CMU takes the timeout. Clark, straight line, pull up, just inside the logo. Rolling early. How do you put it, Tamika? It's been a minute since we saw South Carolina celebrate that national championship back in 2019. They will crown a champion in San Antonio coming up on April 4th. It all starts with this game here today between CMU and Iowa is on a roll right now thanks to Caitlin Clark, up to 15 points so far in the first half, and CMU comes out of the timeout, gets a 3 from Martinez. They needed that to kind of calm down this Iowa run.
Well, Caitlin Clark has been phenomenal from the Iowa side, and she's stepped up and knocked down shots. She's demanded so much attention that she's had to figure out a way to get everybody else involved right now. But Central Michigan, with one of their best players on the bench, Michaela Kelly, with 3 fouls, they got to have other players that are willing to look at the basket. Molly Davis is out there trying to do what she can, but other players are going to have to knock down shots.
That inside knocked away. Good defense by Taiwo. 7 to shoot for CMU.
That's interesting. Iowa had like 3 defenders down low. Got to figure out a way to space the floor a little bit more.
Davis found the opening and scored again. 7 points for Davis, averaging 21 a game. First team all MAC selection, all tourney team as well. Went for 23 in the title game, 73 in the semifinals. Iowa's got it back.
Central Michigan getting sloppy with the ball, moving the ball. And Iowa does a great job just hanging out in the backcourt.
I don't think Lisa Bluter wanted the clock stop, but they were going to stop the clock because the shot clock had to be restarted. Clark defended now by Davis, and that is what Caitlin Clark does. She may score nearly 27 a game, but she's also second in the country in assists per game at 7.
Well, it looks like Central Michigan is kind of confused on what defense they're playing. It looks like they're trying to do a triangle and 2, but not staying attack to players, and sloppy with the ball is one way to put it, but Iowa able to get it back and attack.
Another assist for Clark as Taiwo finishes, and Iowa is now on top by 10.
It's interesting, Eric, when you look at Iowa, they're not a team that is well known for the defense and the way that they play, but you can tell today there's a sense of urgency in every single possession. On the offensive end, Taiwo knocked down the 3-point, yet another assist. But Iowa is doing it on both ends. They're knocking down shots, and everybody is contributing. Of course, Caitlin Clark, she's doing her thing, but everybody else is stepping up. And on defense, they're playing together.
Taiwo has already doubled her scoring average this season. She's got 7. Didn't score against Maryland in 11 minutes in the Big Ten championship game, and a foul called on Iowa. Iowa actually has the last 7 Iowa points, so all 7 of her points have come in this run right now. You see both teams shooting better than 50%, and Michaela Kelly stuck in the cheerleader and assistant coach role for Central Michigan for the rest of the half, thanks to 3 fouls. Fouls on Clark, her first personal.
Well, I think if you're Central Michigan, you're trying to just stay close to get to the second half. When Kayla Kelly gets back on the floor, you want to get up the energy again.
Beautiful feed, but unable to finish is Martin. Davis gets it back. Rebound pulled down by Weeks. And now Clark has it for Iowa.
Central Michigan trying to find some easy baskets around, or easy points around the basket.
Clark couldn't get it, but the follow-up is good by Goodman and the foul.
You know, one of the things you said, Eric, is Iowa's always been known for pushing the ball and moving the ball and finding the open players, and you can tell in their transition game, everybody is running 5 players out, get the rebound, 5 players out, you're moving the ball and finding the easy baskets, and fun to watch this team play.
10-0 run right now for Iowa. They're on top by 16 first half. Tough shot by Martinez. Here come the Hawkeyes. Martin. Rebound for Waters. This is a player that Central Michigan needs to get going. Good shooter, has made 64 threes. She can shoot them right back into it here in the first half. Not this time, though.
Iowa just doing such a good job of sitting back and trying to bait Central Michigan to take some shots. that they normally would be confident with shooting, but for whatever reason, they're a little hesitant.
Ducking through, Central Michigan can't get it done against Iowa right now. They are 0 for their last 6 from the field. Clark with the dribble. Clark to the basket. Offensive foul. That's her second personal.
A way to step on the defensive end and force Clark to take it to the basket. She's always got her eyes up. She's always in attack mode. But you see right there, Sophia Karazinski able to get the charge. She did get out of the restricted circle, too, and able to get her feet set.
So good job by Karazinski, and that will send Caitlin Clark to the bench with 2 personal fouls. The NCAA Men's Basketball Championship continues today. Second round games, CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. Or stream games on the March Madness live app from anywhere. For more information on game times and networks, go to ncaa.com. Well, this is another interesting moment here with Clark out of the game. Osterley brings in Kelly with the 3 personal fouls with better than 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter.
Well, I think it's going to be really important. Kelly understands how important it is for her to be on the court. She's got to make sure that she just stays kind of away from the ball on the defensive end, and then offensively, just you got to control your body to not get any offensive calls.
For the 72nd game in a row, Michaela Kelly is into double figures. That'll give you an idea of how consistent and how good she has been. Nice little pass inside to Sinano for 2.
Well, you mentioned that, Eric, and she's only played 6 minutes.
Iowa now with 8 assists. Kelly gets the roll.
I think Central Michigan just they're a different team with Kelly on the floor. Oh, nice.
Nano and 1.
And one of the keys of the game is trying to get the ball and establish Sinano down low. Hasn't really had a lot of touches, but you see she does her work, slides in and able to get the finish.
Foul is on Smith. That's her second. Waters will walk it up. Approaching 2.5 to go here in the second quarter. Iowa led by 7 after 1 after falling behind by 5 in the first quarter. Knocked out of bounds by Taiwo. She's had an impactful game for Iowa so far here in the first half.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been the defensive intensity that we're seeing Iowa play. You can tell there is definitely a sense of urgency. And when you get to the tournament, and we've watched a lot of tournament play, I know I have the last couple of days on the other side, on the men's side, but anybody can win any given night, and you got to play with that intensity.
Ripped away by Weeks. Tie-up possession arrow will give it to Central Michigan. But both coaches really like the fact that they were tipping off this tournament. They were starting at noon the first day, and obviously you're going to see some jitters. But like you said, you've had a chance at least to watch the men's tournament a little bit to say, well, don't take anything for granted. Those higher seeds can easily take a tumble.
Well, you start looking at lower seeds playing against higher seeds, and you know the way teams play.
Rattled in by Weeks to make it a 13-point game. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Logan Cook. Iowa without their playmaker on the court right now. And Sinano was fouled. CMU bench disagrees as Bussell picks up the personal.
Sonano doing work down low, but yeah, that is a little bit of a foul with the body right there. But Sonano very good at moving without the ball down low to set up the play. Ducked in when it was needed to duck in, so she didn't waste energy, and Bussell kind of fell asleep.
Well, she learned from the very best, because when you're a freshman at Iowa, you go up against Megan Gustafson in practice every single day, and we kind of have an idea of what Megan did during her career. All-time leading scorer, rebounder in Iowa history. Scored 1,001 points in that memorable senior season when Iowa made it to the Elite Eight. So that was quite the classroom for Sonano. And she's been the go-to here for Iowa, with Clark on the bench with 2 fouls.
And Michaela Kelly, a nice little drive back to the free throw line.
Kelly outstanding at the free throw line at 80%. Reminder, Maria Taylor standing by with the AT&T 5G in the studio with Rebecca and Andy Landers. Marquette and Virginia Tech underway, and closer look at another freshman phenom, Paige Beckers, first team All-American. Caitlin Clark, second team All-American. They've got quite the connection as well, playing for Team USA. CMU dials up the defense across half court. And the steal. Turnover by Iowa.
Defense leads the offense, and CMU had definitely dialed it up to another notch.
Final minute, second quarter. Sonano.
Iowa just a different team. When Clark's not on the floor, they look like they're trying to find the right spot, the right pass to make.
Shot clock winding down, and it's a stop for Central Michigan. And Caitlin Clark will come back into the game here for the final 35 seconds of the quarter.
Well, Caitlin Clark should just add a different element on the offensive end, just like Kelly does for CMU. Clark is that for Iowa. She settles down the offense. She gets people in the places, and then she can pick apart the defense. When she's on the bench, other players are having to step into those roles, and we heard Coach Luter say, you take Caitlin Clark out of our offense, it impacts our whole team and what we're trying to run.
That won't drop. A rebound for Martin. There'll be Weeks base guarding Clark. Clark's got it. Martin couldn't get it. Well, you can see CMU feeling a little bit better about themselves. They fell behind by 16 in the first half. Caitlin Clark with 15 points. Michaela Kelly battling foul trouble in that first half, but she ended up with 14. So that matchup has been great. They are both looking forward to the second half, trying with that clean slate when it comes to the fouls. 48-37. Remember, it was a 16-point game. Now it's an 11-point game. Central Michigan and Iowa, 2 high-scoring teams. Not disappointing here as we open up the tournament. Here's Maria.